All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can engage with this content. However, the best way, in my opinion, is to go to the blog because the blog has all the articles. Sometimes if I have something fun, like a video or something, it'll be there. Today I have something, but it's just going to be in the video. Unless, of course, you want the link. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so, thank you. I want to say thank you for support, for your hitting the thumbs up button, and what else? Subscribe if you'd like. And the comments, the great comments, encouraging comments. I know we're getting down to the wire, you guys, but there's articles coming out, like the one we're going to go over right now. Although it looks like the same as yesterday, it's not. And this is one, if we've seen this information before, it's been a while. And so for them to do what they did yesterday and then follow up with this today, plus some other stuff we're going to get into, I think they're close. It looks like they're trying to do this. Okay, so this might go a little long, but please listen. Please. Because this is something that, I don't want to say it's going to shake the world, but if the United States is holding as much dinar as we've been hearing over the years, when the rate changes, this RV is going to have, yes, I said RV, whatever, this rate change is going to have a big impact on several economies, if not the world economy, right? Ours, but we're still the bee's knees, as people used to say. There's other things I want to say, but I'm going to go with that one. Like sugar, honey, iced tea, we still that, okay? Everyone, China's gonna take you down, the U.S. is going down, dollar's going down. Well, it ain't happened yet. I know, we might be down on one knee, but we still got that other. We're up and we're coming up, right? But anyway, that's just me bragging on my country. Okay, but anyway, so this stuff is boring, but sometimes boring leads to the profound, right? So, okay. And you know what? Actually, some people, this stuff is like fascinating, right? And they just get all excited but anyway, the other thing, what was I gonna say? That's it. Yeah, your encouraging comments and, just hang in there. Okay, so today is Wednesday. This is early enough where this should upload for Wednesday, October 15th. And also, that's what I was going to say. If you didn't listen to yesterday's, this kind of piggybacks on yesterday's. So, if you have time, if I haven't irritated you enough, or too much, whatever, go back and listen to yesterday's, which I'll have at the bottom of the blog, but also when this video's done showing, the a little square is gonna pop up and you can click that and it will take you to yesterday's episode. Alright, so let's get into it. The plan to delete zeros. What's next for Iraq's dinar? So that's my little teaser title, but here's the actual title. Removing zeros, 170 tons of gold, and one decision on the table. Will the Iraqi dinar survive erosion? And they even used the same picture as yesterday, but I was like, no, I want a new picture. I like that. Wouldn't you like to have that? These are 5,000s, and these are 25,000s. But there's the 3 zeros and the 3 zeros, right? Alright, so let's get into it. Amid the complexities of the financial landscape and increasing pressures on the money supply, the Central Bank of Iraq is opening the door to one of the most sensitive decisions in its modern monetary history, the project to remove zeros from the local currency. This step coincides with the bank's announcement that it will increase its gold, right, from 90 to 170, like yesterday, right? Okay, so same guy. This is a deputy governor of the CBI. Meanwhile, he confirmed there's no intention to float the Iraqi dinar exchange rate. So, right, they said that yesterday. And reiterating, there is an intention to remove zeros from currency to alleviate the burden resulting from the accumulation of banknotes within the financial sector. He explained that the goal of the measure is to reduce transportation and storage costs and improve the efficiency of cash circulation, i.e., get the money out of the people's houses, right? And that has to be what he's talking about, because why else wouldn't money be moving? If this money was in the market or in the banks, it would be moving, and that's what they've been complaining about, right? Oh, you're not putting your money in the bank, so it's not moving the economy, right? So, however, this step, which appears to be technical and reformist on the surface, has raised a wave of questions about its actual effectiveness and whether it represents a radical solution to the monetary policy crisis or whether it is merely a cosmetic measure to relieve pressure without addressing the core structural imbalances in the Iraqi economy, the rate, right? That's what's imbalanced. They got all this oil, all this gold, all these resources, all these contracts coming in, but your money is not right, not at the right rate that it should be. There's core structural imbalances, right? So changing the rate will correct that. But see, they can't say that. You see how they have to talk around things? All right. According to the estimates by the IMF, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Here they're talking about how cash is trash. We want you using electrical. Sorry, not electrical. What is it? Electronic. Okay, so you can read that if you like. But all right, so now let's see. Here is a economic expert. So this is no longer the CBI governor talking. This is or the deputy governor, right? This is an economic expert. The project to remove zeros from the Iraqi currency represents an important reform step that will facilitate monetary transactions, reduce administration and logistical burdens on the country's financial and banking system, provided it is implemented within a well-thought-out, comprehensive plan that takes into account economic and market stability. And we know they have that, right? They've been studying this. There's all kinds of studies that they put out. And remember yesterday, if you listen to yesterday's episode, there were two papers that they specifically said the CBI did not make public. And one of them, I can't remember the titles, but one of them had the exchange rate in the title, right? Okay. So he adds, the accumulation of banknotes resulting from the current bulk of paper money is a significant burden on the financial sector, requiring additional costs in transportation, storage, and management, in addition to making daily transactions difficult for citizens and institutions. And I've showed you the pictures, the images, where they get wads, right? And the image that I used of that man having those two packages of dinar, that's what they get when they go to the bank. They get that, those large wads. But also, what they want is they want them to stop using paper money altogether, right? So that's another thing. Okay, so then here they go into how Turkey removes zeros, Zimbabwe, Venezuela. And isn't that interesting? They use Zimbabwe and Venezuela. So then here, I think this is the last part I'm going to read. There's more. See, how come they didn't put all this out yesterday? So I bet you the people had questions and wanted more information. And so here's what they did. All right, removing zeros will not change the purchasing power of the dinar per se. I love saying that. Anyway, but it will contribute to simplifying the accounting and financial system and reducing significant numerical discrepancies in financial statements, making money management more efficient and easier to use within government institutions and the private banking sector. Okay, yes, I know that's the definition of a LOP, but we know. Okay, I know some people are still concerned. I'm not going to say worried. I don't want to put worry on you. Some people are concerned they're not going to change the rate and they're just going to LOP the currency, but I just showed you previous where they're talking about the core structural imbalance, and in my opinion, that's the rate. Okay, and I'm going to show you 2 instances, I think, maybe 1, but there were 2, but I think I cut one out for time's sake, where they say that certain information is not disclosed, right? So they're doing these contracts, and I feel in certain instances they're putting a different rate than what we see, and that's why we're seeing more where they're blatantly saying we're not making this public, right? Okay, so yeah, so we'll move on because there's some other stuff. Okay, so here is Deputy Governor of the Central Bank. 5 banks may exit the market soon. So I think if you read this article, I think this is part of the results of the Oliver Wyman audit of those banks. So we're down from 10 banks failing to 5. See, 5 private banks will exit the Iraqi banking sector in the coming period due to their failure to adhere to the standards of the comprehensive review of the sector's strategy. So here is why I know it's tied to that, because it says if you want to remain, here's the 3 paths you have to follow. Remaining in the market by adhering to the standards, merging, or exiting the market. And remember, that was the 3 things they had to choose from before. So a small number of them chose to leave voluntarily, and they are a small minority, not exceeding 5 banks. This has some good information in it. You might want to read it, but you might not. But here it is. It's on the blog. Oh, and did I mention it's a free blog? And you don't have to put your email in to access it, and I don't sell anything. It's just strictly articles. Okay? All right. So we're focusing strongly on governance, business models, and compliance. There are 5 main axes, including 25 standards that banks must all adhere to. The guy, I don't know how to say his name. There it is right there. He added, we seek to build strong and sound financial institutions that serve as an engine of economic growth and prosperity. So that's why I think this is part of the Oliver Wyman audit. 10 licenses to establish digital banks. So remember, they got 80 applications. It looks like they're going to take 10 of those. They selected a very small number of applications to test their effectiveness, and we may expand in the future. Oh, they will. Trust me, they will expand in the future. So when they see how much money they can make, when it becomes profitable and they can see a profit, you see how much money the banks made in the 3rd quarter? Look up Bank of America 3rd quarter increase. JP Morgan, of course. And there's one more. I can't. It's the JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and another smaller one, but I don't see it here. Third quarter, and that one, that smaller one that I can't remember their name, record profits for third quarter. So you don't want to go in and ask for high interest rates? You're cheating yourself, because they have it. They have it, but they're not going to give it to you. You got to ask for it. Shoot. I thought I wrote it down. Anyway, all right. So then here they're talking about financial inclusion in Iraq, but that's, so I definitely recommend reading that. Now look at this. The U.S. President affirms his commitment to the strategic partnership with Iraq. Their National Day was on October 3rd, right? Today is the 15th. They just put this out today. And it wasn't an accident. They did it on purpose. And it's in, I won't say it's like all the news sites, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of news sites. I even have two versions. I have this longer one and then another version that's shorter. So this year, this is the U.S. President wrote a statement or said a statement, I don't know, whatever, and they're putting it in the news today. Let me see, I think, did it have a title? It did. The U.S. President affirms his commitment to the strategic partnership with Iraq. Very positive. Everything in here is positive. Greetings, Your Excellency, the President, because remember, that's who came to the UNGA meetings was the Iraq's president. We and the people of the U.S. America are pleased to extend our sincere congratulations and blessings to you, the government and people, on the occasion of the 93rd Iraq National Day. So you could read that, but look how it ends. We wish you and all Iraqis a happy holiday and a year full of peace, progress, and prosperity. So I think they hid this. I don't think they wanted all this positivity out. And so now to couple this with the two articles about, the zeros and the banks, I think I see this as a very good sign. Now, the president came out, so it's been 20 years since the Constitution of the Republic of Iraq was approved. So they had a special thing, and the president spoke, and look what he said. Hurry up and pass these laws. No, I don't know how he said it, but it also calls on the political forces, the legislative and executive authorities, so somewhere in there is Sudani, right? I think he's the executive authority, right? To work to expedite the completion of the legislation stipulated in the Constitution, implement Article 140 of the Constitution, and approve the oil and gas law to ensure the achievement of constitutional justice and national stability. So the whole speech is here if you'd like to read it, but that's really the best part, right? In my opinion. So, but the whole speech is there if you'd like to read it. They welcomed Sudani, he wants to work with European companies and investment in development energy. And there they are. There's his interpreter. So he's talking to the interpreter. But I can't believe, as smart as Sudani is, I can't believe he doesn't speak English. But anyway, so if you want to read that, you can. And they really wanted the people to see that. But so Swiss, Swedish, and one other group comes with them. The Netherlands, I think. Norway, Netherlands, someone. But also there was a big article about Japan, but look, I'm already running out of time and I'm not even halfway through. So I just thought it was funny. The U.S. president is going to Japan this week, and Japan is in Iraq also. So here, the Excellency, the Governor of Central Bank, Mr. Ali Mohsin Alak, met with a group of Iraqi international researchers working at prominent regional and international think tanks in Baghdad. So this is on the CBI and in regular news. So if you want to read that, and they tweeted about it. So if you follow the CBI on Twitter, you got that tweet like I did. There's a bunch of other pictures, but I couldn't get them there. They kept moving over and they kept getting larger and larger. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. So they already closed that branch of the Rapidan Bank that's involved in that new scandal with those brothers. So, but look at this. So now those people who were formerly dealing with that branch, they transferred the financial accounts to the branch of the Seven Palaces area in Baghdad. How'd you like to say? Oh, I live in the Seven Palaces area of Baghdad. But yeah, so that's done. They did that quick. Now here, look at this. We rarely see this, but it's in the news. Contractors demonstrate in front of the Finance Ministry headquarters in Baghdad demanding their dues before the volcano erupts. So there they are. There was quite a few. They came from 4 different places across the country, and despite they've been working, it says we've been implementing service and infrastructure projects despite financial hardship and heavy obligations, but we want our money. So it just says they are complaining about they feel ignored. Their demands are ignored, and they vow to continue legal and peaceful action until all dues are settled. But it doesn't say like months or weeks or what. But so there is at least one group in the street wanting money. All right, this we can skip this. Just more about the 2026 budget. The Kurds are coming. The Kurds are coming. The Kurds are coming. The Kurds are going to Baghdad, and they're going to have a meeting about the 2026 budget. All right, and for those who have and like to and will support my FX buddies, here's the ways that you do it. Buy me a coffee, Cash App, where I am $Tishwash, or PayPal, where I am Tishwash. Big or small, I appreciate it all, believe me. And thank you in advance for your generosity. Okay, let's see. I just want to show you really quickly. I think I told you guys about this, but I know you didn't believe me, because why would you? It's so unbelievable. But here, tribal leader in Iraq tries, even if you're watching on TV and you have little ones, and send them out the room real quick. Tribal leader in Iraq tries to cut off his fingers in bizarre display of political loyalty. It was a campaign event attended by several public figures. And there they are. See this? You see that, right? I'm not going to say what it is, but you can see that. And, oh, yeah, they have a video on Instagram, but I thought there was one more image. Oh, well, you know what? Then I will put the link. But it's not, you don't see. Oh, no, here it is, right here. So here's his finger. Here's what he was going to try to separate from his body. Yeah, but he wasn't successful. So if you want to see, but look how they're all sitting. One guy gets up. Everyone else was sitting there like, they probably didn't know what to do. But this guy gets up, and then there's another guy that comes from out of the picture, and he has like a towel or something. But they tell him, no, my brother. You can hear him say that. But anyway, he wanted to give his finger to the representative that was there so he could vote for Sudani. Okay. Talk about some loyalty. I said at least Sudani could call him. So I heard what you wanted to do, but yeah, you don't need to do that. All right. But so I can't remember if I mentioned that, but I wanted to prove to you that that did happen. All right. So we'll go back. Now here, this is one of those articles where I was saying that the people are unhappy with Sudani going to this here. How do you say that? How do you say that? I don't know. So I call it the Peace Summit. So, but listen to the headline. After shaking hands with Sudani, whoever fulfills Trump's conditions will be the next prime minister. Oops, I said his name, didn't I? Oh well. So if you want to read that's how they feel. So, see, the handshake was an insult to Iraq in exchange for his bid for a second term. So, but again, not everyone feels this way. So these are the troublemakers because it's election time, and a showboating scene. Oh, did you hear? Oh, I don't. People that are in Australia, you're gonna have your own number, because I know a lot of you are worried that you're not going to be able to exchange in Australia. But, yeah. So, hang in there. And I fully believe the closer we get, the more, the Philippines, I know you guys are worried. I'm working on trying to get information on that. And there's another country. But the closer we get, I think, and see, that's another thing that we don't consider. These international banks, these countries have to make arrangements for cover, right, to be able to handle these transactions. But anyway, okay, so there was a lot of news today. But, so I'm not going to get to it. Let's see. So here's an economic expert. He's one that they interview on TV. Saleh Nouri. He talked about why there's fluctuation again in the parallel market rate and the regular rate, and that they need to diversify their revenue types ordered by the IMF. So you should go read that. Here's, so this guy, he's in the Kurdish region. I don't know how to say his last name. The delay in August salaries is due to a lack of liquidity in Baghdad, and the problem will be resolved soon. Yeah, I like that. I hope they're going to resolve it the way I want them to resolve it, right? So they've sent their 120 billion dinars. They've done everything they're supposed to do. The Kurds have. So I know that's quite lengthy, but there's a lot of information in there. Here's Raffidan Bank commencement of semi-annual interest payments to holders of the first bonds. So there's that, if you'd like to read that. Oh, here's the one. Okay, the contract value was not disclosed. All right, so this is a Jordanian firm to supply MIS. I don't know what that is. To Iraqi company for bank guarantees, ICBG. And it's just a short little tiny article. But the point is, the contract value was not disclosed. Okay, so they're doing business, but whereas in the past they would show the contract value, all of a sudden we're getting more articles like this where they're not showing the contract value. Okay, we're almost done, okay? KBR. When I saw that, I was like, that's an American company. At one time, I think I had stock in that company. But, supporting digital transformation in Iraq. So, the Ministry of Trade held a joint meeting, blah, blah, blah. Here, economic team from U.S.-based KBR to discuss areas of cooperation supporting Iraq's trade policies and digital transformation efforts. Global economy. Iraq's integration into the global economy is in line with international standards. Okay? And here, a body brought more shakes, whatever. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, I'm just kidding. But for those who are just listening, they're probably elite people, right? And he covered, where is it? Oh, here it is. In the title, Sudani, we achieved many accomplishments in less than 3 years, and we aspire to more. So this was, hey, vote for me. Look at all this stuff that I did. And actually they put it in, it's almost like a bullet form. Not really, but instead of bullet points, it says he added. So if you want to see all of what he's done, it's there. And it is a lot. He was allowed to do a lot. Okay, this is the last article, I believe. Yes, so we're almost done. So, payroll cycle. Why did I want this in here? They're talking about the salaries are the largest part of the budget. Oh, at the bottom, I think he talks about. So the salaries have been delayed by just a few days as markets stagnate and business activity declines significantly. So there's admission, right? They're admitting business is declining, markets are stagnant. That's not good, right? That's not a strong economy. So, and what does it all boil down to? The larger size of this monetary mass is the people, right? The people's money, the greater the impact on the country's general economic cycle. So, again, it's a roundabout way of saying, hey, you people, you need to move your money. You need to move your money into the banks so we can get this economy going, which is Bavarian sweet cream, right? Because they could change the rate, pass those laws, right? And they'd be rolling in the dough. What was that? Did you hear that noise? I don't know what I did. Anyway, all right. So I'm not going to be long. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Your time is important, and so is mine. So I thank you for giving me 30 plus minutes of your day. And I will be back tomorrow. So accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all of your bills. And enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame. Oh, did you hit the thumbs up? It's not too late. You could hit, you could do it like right now, right? Okay, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content, and until tomorrow.